All right, so you never know what you're going to get with Mega Random. And we have a fun generation here. This is bringing back some memories of some low elo casts that I've done years and years and years ago on a map called Highland. I don't know if you guys know that, but Highland has a crossing. What a play from Overlord! What a play! Now, does he see the castle? No! No! Just walk forward! No! And this has a crossing. And you know what? Hold on. The trees are way too small. What is this? Why are we doing it? Yeah, there we go. Low Elo Legends. We've got David Z in the red playing as the Byzantines. And it looks like they've started with a stable here, so that could be useful for both civilizations. And then in the blue, we've got Vanderhoeve. Vanderhoeve obviously starts with a stable as well. Vanderhoeve playing as the humans. Now, the map has generated quite a few fish and quite a lot of water, but there is only one crossing between the player bases. And I don't know if, Red is going to like this, but this is kind of rough. This is, well, the positive spin on all of this gold being here on the front of your base, right next to a hill, is that if you control this hill, you're in an amazing position. But pretty much just has these golds to work with. Otherwise, blue's golds are kind of clumped as well, but kind of clumped to the side instead. So I just wonder, what will they do with the crossing, guys? Any guesses? I'm going to go as far to say is we're going to see stone walls, and we're going to see towers behind those stone walls, like on either side of the gate, almost like a campaign. But humans can't stone wall, actually, so that sucks for blue. They do have more HP on their palisade walls, at least. Or absolutely nothing happens. I think the next thing that comes to mind is, will they go auto-scout? Because auto-scout is going to scout this map super quickly, and they might run right into each other's TCs here. Especially like red, you click auto-scout now, it's going to start in the right corner, and maybe by like the 8-minute mark, that scout will be sitting... or be walking right underneath blue's TC. Blue doesn't actually have any villagers underneath the TC, though. So we could have the classic town bell ring, and then there's no villagers nearby. But yeah, fun map generation here. I am a little critical of Mega Random. I think... I mean, I know, like, there's data out there that it used to be more random back in the day. I think that at one point, people were like, hey, this is unfair, this is too crazy, and so they dialed it down. I personally want them to dial it back up. I remember some of the older generations. Maybe I'm just, an old man, but this is good. This is a generation I'd like to see more. Or something similar to it. So, these villagers, just a big old hunting party out here. And blue needs houses. Blue got housed pretty badly, and, well, is probably thinking, I need the houses to look good. Is going to place the houses between those trees. Would stress a lot of people out there to not be able to create village for this period of time, but we're chilling at 500 elo here. Thank you, Momo, for gifting sub to Dave, by the way. I would make fun of Dave for not, being sub to me. But I'm not going to, because he doesn't need that today. But Dave, just letting you know, I am the longest sub on your channel by far, and I've never, ever, ever removed it. Not even for a second. Dude, I don't even get a chance. I don't get a chance. That's true. He was probably, guys, listen. He probably had the tab up. He was logging in with his information, okay? And then, just so happened that the gifted sub came right in. That's true. I'm sure he was pulling it up. No, it's all good. I'm just trolling. Thank you, Sharper, for the 8 months. Thank you, Tide Hunter, for the 2. Krugel, thank you. Davos Seaworth. Interesting. Appreciate it. So no docking so far from either player. Okay, that's true, Dave. That's true. I was going to bring that up as well. He says, I literally drove home at life-threatening speed to be your first sub. Yeah, I'll tell that story in a second. But you gotta love this. Red, probably used to making a barracks, is gonna make the barracks here. So we've got barracks and stable in the Dark Age. You can't produce anything out of the stable in Dark Age, even though you have it. Red has found the crossing, and so has blue. Big moment in this game. And blue scout, I guess, it feels like auto scout needs to scout this before it wanders across the middle, excuse me. But, I mean, my first thought when someone plays humans is, will they utilize the second TC aspect? Do they know about that? And right now, I'm not really seeing blue making any immediate plans for that, because blue doesn't really have a lot of wood. Okay, here comes the villager. Here comes the villager from red. Great awareness. Reading the map is a really important part of this game. There are a lot of people who play the same game every time. They're just like, I'm going to go scouts, I'm going to pick Mongols, I'm going to steal the boar, and I'm going to do this. Not calling those people out, just saying that happens on occasion. And then you become used to what happens after your initial strategy. But, Mega Random forces you to adapt a little bit more. And maybe red wasn't planning on making a dock, but red sees the water. And now is going to make a dock. Ooh, actually very close to dock blocking that. Blocking off that entire section. But for now, it's going to be palisade walls. Cannot be stone walls from red, because red is not in feudal age yet. And blue is making more scouts, so blue is using that stable. And this is really important timing, because scouts could wreck these villagers. Red doesn't even have loom right now. All right, so quick story time, chat. All right, so as blue probably going to take a moment to build up the courage to move out with the scouts. So obviously, I left for Facebook for 2 years, right? But I basically have been partnered on Twitch for like 8-ish years, if you add it all up, 7 something. I don't know. It's been a long time, right? And Twitch was very different back then, and it was harder to get the sub. And I think even still, actually, if you meet the requirements to be a partner, sometimes you don't get it. So it was like a pain back then. I had to average 500 viewers over the course of a month. Average that. And I did that for 6 months straight, still didn't have partnership. So basically, I probably applied for partner like 6 times, 7 times. I just did it constantly. And everyone wanted to be my first sub. And so it was like Dave, obviously, and then a bunch of my mods who were all like refreshing my page constantly to try and be a first sub. And I wanted Dave to be my first sub because I knew people like, some of the mods, like Ducks, for example, was going to try and snipe it. So I texted him. I said, oh, wait, no, I didn't text him. That's not what happened. I remember I woke up from a nap to like 10 texts from Dave, all caps. And he was like, was I first? Was I first? Was I first? And he was first. Oh my God, what the? Okay, this is funny. Yeah, by the way, I'm Dave's second sub because freaking Duck subbed first. I'm still not okay about that. Look at this. Okay, so red is docked here. Is on the other side, and blue came over here and started attacking the dock. Now, I think blue wants to go over here, but blue can't do that because of red's walls. And now red's wall villager has been found, and oh boy, the stone walls were not completed. Now, a little tip for you, red, is stonewalling behind your fortifications would be smart, because now if you're going to go fix that, you've got to, like, go through. And, okay, this is red learning. Also, does blue know that the humans can go for rams? I'm sure blue does. And look at that. Blue's even going to go to gold. This is wild. Now, red is also making scouts, but red is also making navy from the galley. So there's a lot happening here, or from the galley. Sorry, from the dock. And red is terrified right now, because red can see that. These scouts are all standing there so menacing. And nice job from red to position all the villagers on the safe side of the wall. Nice job from red to slowly chase down blue's auto scout, which is kind of comical. And I don't even know how much gold it is for a ram. I think it's like 75 gold per ram. That is never anything that I've ever memorized. I just know it's like roughly like 110, 120 wood and like 60 or 70 gold. I don't know. But anyways, I think that blue's thinking about rams. But now, there's a tower from red. There's the stone walls from red. There's also going to be some navy from red. So we'll see if that works out. Okay. Something that would be so epic here. I doubt we're going to see it because this is maybe this has been good strategically already from red, don't get me wrong. But it might be a little too Big brain. I would love to see a transport from red right now. You wall the choke point, you control it with water, and you transport those scouts over. That would be so good. And actually, on the same note, blue should be doing that, but blue's just letting the scouts die to the tower. And, okay, those scouts have moved away. It's a bit interesting that the others didn't. Not sure exactly what caused that, but there's going to be the ram. Maybe blue actually noticed it this time. So, that B guy says T90. If red goes all in on C, couldn't he just hold blue in place? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the idea. You go for water now, and water does the job for you. I would really like to see some fire galleys, but that is on the second page of the doc, and I don't think a lot of low Edel players know there's a second page on the doc. Insert T90 rant here about how the doc needs to be reworked. You've heard it all before. I made a video on it, and we'll see if that ever ends up happening. Okay, nice play from red. Wow, look at this. Red's gonna wall behind this, and now brings in the Navy. I think blue is gonna feel clueless now. You're gonna feel dominated. Your ram strategy is unique to your civ. That's not working. There's fortifications. They've killed your scout. You're on the dark. You're in the dark. Sorry, you don't know what your opponent's doing beyond this. And let's see what the plan ends up being here for blue. Blue's done a great job to queue up lots of villagers. But, you know, red has protected the middle. This is what we wanted. Now, I did say a tower on either side of the gate. I think red would have maybe gone for the cute towers, but this got pretty stressful for a moment, so I think it's more about getting the job done than anything. This is the most important area of the map. Oh, baby. And blue's going to add a dock. Blue's going to add a dock. What is this, man? We've had scouts. We've had fishing ships. Navy, walls, towers. One of them has eco upgrades. But still, I'm impressed. I can't wait. Like, this, red's going to learn an important lesson here. And it's to utilize your Navy constantly, right? Protect that shoreline. But I can't wait for the confusion from red when the scouts show up. If the scouts show up. All right, blue, are you going to make a transport ship? I think blue's going to make like 8 of them. Blue's making more scouts. You can only fit 5 villagers in each, or 5 units in each transport ship. It could also be for Navy here. And there's the transport ship. Oh, boy. And guys, red thinks, I've got him. I've got him right where I want him. I've got the walls up. I've got Navy. I killed the scout. 4-1 KD. This is amazing. I'm Byzantines. I'm super comfortable with Byzantines. Byzantines counter everything. Maybe already thinking about the Draman, which is new. I don't know if red knows that, but a Draman can be made by Byzantines in the Imperial Age out of the docks that dominate the sea. Now, if there's one thing about transport ships I know, is they're a pain to use. And these guys most likely don't have any hotkeys for it, right? So let's see. All right, 5 into the transport. Now you have to click the transport to the shoreline and eject them. This is red's point of view. Oh, man, that's so sick. Red did so many things right here. And now the scouts are going to show up. And there's no loom for red. And the scouts are going to destroy this wood line. And red's got to be thinking, what? I played this perfectly. How'd this happen? Now, thankfully, red does have scouts here. And blue's going to kill a couple villagers and maybe red will end up being okay. But that is worth it from blue. Well played. I still don't know if red's even here. Okay, does look like maybe that was a reaction from red. Tower, galley, and scouts kind of going to clear this up. It's nice that red had those scouts left over. Now, here's my transport tip, all right? My transport tip is you bring the army, but you bring a villager. And that villager builds up buildings. Because you don't want to have the transport each and every time. So, red should be thinking, okay, how did that happen? Now, I doubt red saw where they came from, but it was, like, pretty clearly around here. Maybe red could move the Navy forward. Blue making some spearmen. Maybe aware that spears actually do decent against ships, but I wouldn't suggest making spears against ships. Trying to poke holes in the ship so they sink here. Transport and the dock from blue still hasn't been spotted. Blue, 45 villagers, though. This economy is really expansive, too. It's looking pretty good. Blue also seems like a big fighter. A lot has gone wrong this game for blue. Some players at this rank have kind of a quitter mentality. Now, interesting aspect of Red's position is Red cannot actually walk through here right now. Yes, there are gates, but the palisade wall is completed there. All right, here comes blue again. Clearly, Red knows that this is the danger territory, and Red's massing tons of units there. And blue is just there in vision, as Red's going to even upgrade the Navy now. All right, worked last time. Here comes blue, looking to surprise the enemy, feeling like a god. And the enemy's prepared for you, blue. Yep, not going to happen this time. Blue also trying to move away from all this. But does get some good scouting intel, at least. Gets a nice reminder that all that gold is there if blue could eventually break down the walls. And it's, interesting low elo micro here as blue just kind of clicked everything together. Everything moved at the same pace as the spearman there. But hey, villager was killed. Not bad. And now red moves the ships over here. And now blue might be in a pickle. Because you need to make your own navy now that the transport's gone down. What I like about this game is that you can see them learning. You could see, you could see them come to conclusions about how to play it. They've had really good, both players have had a really good understanding of the map. And I don't want to, with anything I say, right, there's always, 1%. The negative 1%. So there's probably some guy right now, T90's implying Low Elo Legends aren't creative. We're just slow. I'm not trying to imply Low Elo Legends aren't creative. But sometimes it's really easy to get stuck in one way of thinking and not, see the map for what it is. And especially when you're playing online, 99% of the, my viewer base doesn't play online. A lot of people like to play in the safety of their bots where they can fall back to cheat codes. And right now, I kind of just impressed. I'm very impressed. Blue is imping! What? Blue is imping already. It's cheaper for the Byzantines to go imp, so you would think Byzantines would have been imp faster. That said, the resources are there for David. David's just going to need the buildings. And blue... I'm not sure if blue has a plan with imp. But for now, blue's going to try and snag these 2 relics. At least that's what I think is going to happen because the monks are out. Actually, there's 3 relics. And no sign that blue is going to dock. Now, if your opponent has navy here, you can always just go find another location to dock and sneak it up. I think it's really easy for these guys to come to the conclusion, well, we've lost water now, so that's not going to work. But obviously, that's not necessarily the case now. Raisin and Ed, welcome back for the 2 months. Thank you, Gracious Vlad, as well. Something I will say, so this is officially starting my 2nd month back on Twitch on this chapter. I don't know where everybody came from, man. There's been a lot of new people. You always hope there's new people, right? But the amount of people who've resubbed already with 2 months today has been awesome. And then obviously, my first month, the amount of new subs was a surprise to me. So, thank you, guys. Cool, cool. Blue gonna sail the high seas now. Red gonna sail the high seas now. Try and find more things out there. I guess in theory there could be an island there to explore, but obviously we're not really seeing that. Relics coming in for Vanderhoove. Tyrannosaurus as we came from Facebook. Yeah, some people did, right? Some people did, but when the viewership was so low on Facebook comparative to Twitch, it's hard to imagine everybody did, I came from work. Yeah? Was that part of your workload for the day is to watch some Age of Empires? I get it. It's my workload for the day. It's possible that Red doesn't really know that you don't need the Imperial Age resources of a standard civ with the Byzantines. Red's just chilling. I mean, and walls allow you to chill. Oh, geez. Blue converts a war galley. Oh, dang. Is that the plan here, to just use monks? Honestly, it might not be too bad, because red hasn't gone for many upgrades on these. But then again, it's like, monks are really hard to control. And they are 100 gold apiece. I could easily see blue making a mistake. T90, would a lighthouse-type building for increased line of sight be a viable option for water, like a water outpost? What, so people can then lighthouse quick wall on water, Gregory? Is that what you're trying to do? Isn't Viper too much of a nerd already? I'm not that big of a fan of it. You mean like, I guess my question would then be, how does it get built, right? Are you building it with like a transport ship or something? I personally, I know that like, some people might not like water. I think water balance is pretty solid. The main things I'd like to see change with water is the way that a lot of it's shown, because it's just straight up deceiving and confusing for no reason. You shouldn't have the trade cog on the first page of the dock and not the fire ship. I don't understand that. There's so many people that think their civ doesn't have fire ships because it's the prioritization of it's weird. You also, for balance purposes, upgrading to War Galley, look at you, you've got me started now. But clicking the War Galley upgrade to upgrade all your ships, for balance is good to have a tech that does that, but it shouldn't be called War Galley. You shouldn't click War Galley, upgrade 2 other types of ships at the same time. It should be a generic ship upgrade or something, in my opinion. You got me started, sorry. Holy resources for David. David still has not clicked Imperial Age. David could do that twice with Byzantines if you could do that. But lots of navy from David and a castle here as well from David. And blue, not really showing any signs that there's plans to make a push here. But we'll see. Preach more on dock changes? No, I'm gonna shut up. Listen, I made a video about it. I gently nudged the devs many times on it, but, maybe they're still trying to fix pathing. I don't know. Again, maybe don't get me started, because it's been really bad the last month and a half, and it's been frustrating to see. Good upgrades coming in here from blue and the blacksmith, so when fights eventually happen with military units, those upgrades will be in. And alright, blue's making a perfect castle. Now, I want to talk about red's castle for a second. If you're not an imp, you'd never want to make a castle behind your walls like this, guys. I understand the thinking. The thinking is like, I have walls, and then I fortify it, and then I have a castle. But I see it on Arena, I see it at higher ranks where people will make a castle when their opponent's an imp and they're not. And then what that offers is an opportunity for the enemy to start trebbing you down. Finally, imp is coming in here for David. I don't think David's really able to think about it that clearly, but... both players about 55, 60 villagers. Imp is on the way. And who knows if we'll even see a trebuchet here from blue anyhow, right? But that is enough navy where blue cannot just use monks against this. And blue's going to be making trebs. Woo! Okay. Marble says you need the right page showing for hotkeys to work in docks. No. Just for it to show, right? The average player isn't going to have dock hotkeys. You don't need to, like, toggle to the page to produce out of the, the first or second page. At least with, like, the way my hotkeys work. I don't know. Alright, so there's the first Treb. Now, Treb obviously has quite a lot of vision. Now, knowing low elo, he's going to go for the tower. Hey, that tower killed units. That killed 3 units earlier. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. So this is giving red time. Alright, gotta get rid of that tower. More Trebs on the way. Now, once the tower's down, maybe then blue will try and Treb down the gate. But blue does not know that the castle's there. It's just missing that. Look at that. That is crazy. You would actually have to see the tile it's sitting on, and even that's close. The top of the building doesn't matter. Okay, monks are on the way. Monks are on the way. Monks are on the way to convert an archer, and... oh my goodness, dude. I mean, if blue knew about this, blue could be trebbing it down. Yeah, it's kind of funny how, like, you think you would see that, but again, it's based on the tile the castle's sitting on. Come on, monks. Go convert an archer here. I actually think they convert the archers from here. You have to convert, like, that archer. First upgrade for blue is War Galley. Blue's going to continue to dominate the sea. And we've got cav archers, and we've got kipchaks, and we've got trebs, and we've got monks from Vanderhoove. Inferior ranged units compared to the War Galley. Ships dominate land units. With a few exceptions. Oh, man. I mean, blue's thinking, I'm going to push this, but I have to wait till my army's built up, and blue just doesn't know. Even shipwright is coming in for David. Sheesh. That is a pricey upgrade, but if you're going to go for lots of ships, that is an amazing upgrade to get. Also, David has put some units into the transport ship here and might try and counter raid. No! Blue has fallen for the bait again! Every single Tuesday, low elo players research heated shot. Now, hold on. Actually, let me back up a second. Heated shot could be helpful here. Heated shot increases the amount of damage your castles and towers do against ships. So that's actually helpful, so I should settle down. What I thought was that heated shot was being researched because blue thought it was chemistry. But blue's also getting chemistry, so I'm going to assume that maybe... Where's the university researching that? Oh, there's another one. That maybe blue knows what heated shot does. And now chemistry's on the way for David. Not a single blacksmith upgrade for David. If David was getting those, I'd say that David's in a good position. Now, here's a question for you guys. Does blue think that the kipchaks and the cav archers here are fully armored? Give me your thoughts. I'm going to assume that blue thinks they're fully armored. This is another confusing thing about the game, and this I'm not really sure they should change, but it just is what it is. That is a hoof right there. And these things have hooves, right? Look at it. Look at it. So you think when you upgrade plate barding armor that it would apply to your kipchaks and to your cav archers, but this only applies to like melee cavalry, not ranged. So you need to get archer armor to apply to these things. So blue is very hoofy, but doesn't have all the correct text for the hoofy units. But there's going to be step lancers, so that would apply. Oh man, Red's got Navy over here. And a nice find there from Red. Also, notice Red... Red is building a castle in the back corner of the map for some reason. I guess really paranoid that Blue's going to sneak a base up or something. And lost that villager to a lion, so I'll keep you updated on that castle. I mean, that's wild to me that Red's got all this control and really wants a castle back there. Ooh, Red is sneaking! Red is sneaking right now! Camels and spears and scouts! And Red waited, too. Red had a lot of units in that transport ship. And now Blue's getting hit on water and has to deal with it. And now Blue's getting hit on land and has to deal with it. But guess what? Blue says, I don't freaking care. I found your castle. Guys, this is gonna be insane! Oh, also, Red knows about Dramans. These things are OP, man. This is new. They gave it to, I think, Romans, Byzantines. There's another civ or two. Dramans are genuinely insane. It's like a mangonel ship. I think Goths and Huns also get them. So Trebs could start going down. Kipchaks could start going down as well. But Red is going to lose that castle. Honestly, it's the Dramans that are the key. Because the Dramans can also take out units. Now, does Blue know there's a raid? I'm not sure that Blue knows about any of this. I think Blue is just fully fixated on the fight. And yeah, this confirms my suspicions. So Red is wrecking Blue's economy. Blue, are you looking here? Come on, buddy. You got it. You can defend from this. You just have to notice it. Maybe Blue's playing without headphones. I've done that before, and then you don't hear the burr burr. It's a lot harder than you think. Maybe he's at school right now. He's supposed to be, like, He's like sitting in the back of the class. Oh, town bell, town bell, town bell. Okay, never mind. Blue noticed. Blue noticed. Blue's still going to town with the Trebs, though, right? And maybe has a chance. Nice job from Red. Obviously, you need the right units to defend from this. The correct amount of units, the correct type of unit would be Haup. I'm not sure if they know that. I think Red had the perfect game plan, and I think Red's going to win because of it. The Navy control is so important here. The Navy should eventually be able to take care of Blue's Trebs. And then Dramens can also take care of the castle, too. Red took a page out of Blue's book and transported. Castle still isn't up, by the way. Still 5 HP just sitting there. Thankfully, Lions don't try and eat castles, because that would be a problem. And Blue, okay, wins the Treb War. That's screenshot worthy if I've ever seen it. And Camels here getting poked by the Steppe Lancers, but Camels do a lot of bonus damage against Steppe Lancers, and clearly Blue, little distracted, little worried right now. And so this is nice, because in Red's position, you can worry about the other stuff back at home because of this raid. You don't need to look at this ever again. They've done their job. They paid for themselves. Nice defense from Blue, though. And what I would think Red would want to look at... Oh, God, Red's bringing Vills now. I like it, though. I said earlier, bring the Vills. Maybe could drop a castle here, build some production buildings. There we go. There's that castle. And there's this castle. And there's another lion. So it could be another woo-woo-woo situation. So basically, instead of cannon galleons, the Byzantines get Dramens. And again, it's like a mangonel ship, but also it can work as a cannon galleon. They're really good against buildings, too. So this... I mean, how cool does this ship look? I think it looks amazing. That's the key right now for Red. But I don't know if Red knows that they're good against the Trebs and good against the castle. I mean, like, this here is more than enough. Red is fully surrounding Blue right now. Is even going to send the Dramens this way to maybe sit here. I mean, it's super smart. All comes back to Red recognizing that the walls needed to go down. Blue transported once or twice, but since then, Blue has probably felt very stuck. It feels like it's impossible to do anything. Vander Hoove has not been very attentive to raids, I will say. Like, the amount of Vills that have died over here with no reactions is pretty insane. So I think David should have this one now. But obviously, David's going to have to, go for the kill. But yeah, Dramens over here. And then Dramens and Galleons over here. Look at that Eco KD. I'm guessing Red somehow killed 2 of his own units. Maybe with the Dramens? I'm not sure how, but the Eco KD would tell me that probably happened here, so. Philibert says, who voluntarily plays water map? Well, we found Blue. Blue's in chat, guys. Game must have ended. Hello, Billibert. This is Mega Random, by the way, so they didn't voluntarily play this. Mega Random can give you a variety of different generations. Oh, the Lions, of course. Yeah, forgot about the Lions. That would make sense. I forgot about the one already. What's up with... I mean, not a big deal, not a bug, all right? Not a broken game. Try to fix it. But why does the lion mane stay on the ground longer than anything else? That lion died a long time ago. His mane is still there. Whereas, like, if an entire freaking horse dies, sinks into the ground pretty early on, but that lion's mane... still there. That lion's mane might be there forever. It's an eternal mane. Blue doesn't even know, guys. Blue doesn't even know that Red's building up this base right now. This is... oh, man. Really impressed with Red. Like, walled up the choke point. Utilized the water. And now brings the villagers to build a forward base. And is even waiting to have a lot of Trebs. So isn't trickle trebbing. Yeah, and Blue is going to be... like, maybe Blue does hate water maps already. I don't know. But Blue's going to be more justified in feeling that way. There's no way Blue could take any gold properly right now. Any resources. And, I mean, blue is going for the walls, so maybe blue wants to make a rush through the middle at some point here. But feels like the Trebs are going to eventually go down. Still no blacksmith upgrades for red, which is a pretty big deal. But here comes red with Trebs. And blue's losing the Trebs, and blue's cav archers and step lancers and halbs won't be able to make it past the galleons, even though they don't have upgrades, so... Is the lion mane still there? Oh, it's gone. Okay. All right. Well, good stuff. Not a bug we have to report. I think blue was just like, I've Treb down the walls. Maybe I can run in. Maybe he doesn't have anything back there. But the GG's called from Vanderhoove. Don't see the GG every day in Low Elo Legends. Like to see it. Salutes in chat for Vanderhoove. Well played. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to show you the key moment in this game, all right? Because it's really just a simple switch for blue, and everything's fine. Okay, so obviously, you know, if you watch the game, there were transports. Blue did lots of damage. Blue's eco was better, right? And then red starts to take water, right about here. Okay, so I think in blue's mind, blue says, well, water's lost. I'm done on water. He's taken out my dock, right? You don't have to think about it that way. That's 4 ships. You've got 1,200 wood. There's nothing stopping you from sneaking over here, making 3 or 4 docks. Sneaking over here, making 3 or 4 docks. And then basically, you know, competing for water, right? That was the problem here for blue. Everything else was fine. But the main thing is just accepting that water is lost when such a small force is here was the main issue. Now, obviously, like, you know, players tend to under-prioritize water pretty heavily at low elo, so it could just be that red was super experienced with water, but... Remember, like, blue is an imp way faster, right? I know Cumin Navy isn't necessarily the strongest, but even still, I think blue could have made something happen here. Blue is an imp about 10 minutes ahead of time, but was stuck, felt surrounded by Navy and didn't know how to deal with it. So my advice would be, make fire ships on the water, try and push it back, and then, you know, once you're competing a little bit on the water, you can maybe use some of your advantage on land. Plain and simple, the way red played this was super smart, super good for the Civ matchup, and it froze blue, and blue didn't really know what to do, so GG.